Greetings everyone, this is me again, Zahra Jawad, ex-Muslim, ex-Shia. Come to show you what a mess this Quran has been. So some Muslims have been disjoining, separating what Allah has joined by misunderstanding the ayahs which say associating partners with Allah is a shirk and unforgivable shirk. Polytheism is unforgivable. So this, it's not their fault, the Muslims' fault. It's actually the fault of this Quran and how it's come to us. So some ayats like, unforgivable sin makes the Muslims really, really scared. And so they haven't seen what are the contradictions and some Quran ayats which show that you're not supposed to separate Allah from His messengers, right? So here, due to these messengers being, I think, permitted by Allah to be equal with Allah in some cases, not to be separated from Allah. So like, for example, Surah 4, Ayat 150 says, those who deny Allah and His messengers, and those wish to separate Allah from His messengers, saying we believe in some but reject others, and those who wish to take a course midway. So however, the Sunnis have taken this, the Shias, 12 Shias, perhaps have taken a midway, those who do not consider Imam Ali to be a messenger, no prophet. I mean, they do consider Imam Rasulullah to be a messenger, but not to be separated from Allah. So they take like Surah Maida 55, yet they say it's Rasulullah, Prophet Muhammad is not equal to Allah. So I'm going to show you how even the Shias have been wrong in this. Now you see, you'll understand this ayat clearly, these two ayats that are there, which I couldn't understand unless there was a footnote from Quran.com or the tafsir, right? Taking recourse to the tafsir for Surah 2, ayat 27 and Surah 13, ayat 25. Cut asunder what Allah has commanded to be joined. In short, these two ayats, especially this part, is very important. But when you see those who break the covenant of Allah from after its ratification, this part of the ayat will be important when we come to Surah Fatah, the paying allegiance to Prophet Muhammad, right? There it will be made clear why then they cut, also this, they cut what Allah has ordered, and this will also become clear, wish to separate Allah from His messengers. So if you pay allegiance to the messenger, on his hand you've paid allegiance to Allah, Surah Fat ayat 10. Those who swear allegiance unto thee, meaning Muhammad, swear allegiance only unto Allah. The hand of Allah is above their hands. So whosoever breaketh his oath, breaketh it only to his soul's hurt. While whosoever keepeth his covenant, so this is also covenant to be kept by the believers. But then it becomes clear, not through the tafsirs of the Sunnis and perhaps the 12 Shias, that we cannot separate Allah from His Messenger. Surah 4, ayat 150 becomes clear, more clear than ever than the tafsirs put by the Sunnis and the Shias. And so Surah 2, ayat 27 says, those who break the covenant of Allah from after its ratification, and they cut what has ordered Allah, it to be joined. It says it to be joined here. and they spread corruption in the earth. Those are the losers. Surah 13, ayah 25 said, but those who break the covenant of Allah after contracting it. Now, this is not the messenger's contract or the prophet's contract, covenant with Allah. This is for those of you who have covenanted with Allah by paying allegiance, Surah Fatah 10, to Prophet Muhammad on his hand, right? So the hand of Allah is above their hands. So whoever breaketh his oath, this covenant, breaketh it only to his soul's hurt. Now here you see it doesn't say messenger or prophet or Muhammad even. Surah Fatah 10. Please make a note of this very important point. Because this ayat then becomes clear. All these ayats become more clear without the tafsirs. These ayats explaining themselves. So what are we to do here? Surah 4, ayat 150, what the disbelievers should, what the disbelievers do here, right? Those who wish to separate Allah from His messengers, those who deny Allah and His messengers, the deniers, the disbelievers, and wish to separate Allah from His messengers, saying we believe in some but reject others. Many of you, even the 12 Shias, I'm sorry to say, have not understood this ayat. Perhaps, and you blame the Ismaili because and then they say we have understood this ayat, these ayats, right? But all of you are wrong, it seems. Because the other ayats which say do not take partners with Allah, let's see. Maybe the Ismaili tariqat isn't wrong. Islam. But let's see. However, there are contradictions. But in this, taking Rasulullah such a high with Allah, in certain cases, right, making no difference, like in Surah Maida 55, like in Surah Taqweer. I haven't even reached Surah Taqweer. But since I found these new ayats, and these ones also about the taking no partners with Allah, you see, it doesn't it doesn't go with those ayats which say in Surah Nisa, do not take partners with Allah. So I'm going along with my notes. I hope you understand as we go along. And this is not a debate because I'm not fighting you. I don't want to argue. And another thing is I have a problem with my throat. It's like a thorn here on the left side. And you see, I see that I'm not fighting you, but sometimes you come here wanting to have a debate. When I don't want to have a debate, it's arguments and all these fights. So my way is that I request that we have a discussion. You go along first with what I'm saying, see first what I'm saying, and then later on, maybe there will be time in the end for you to ask questions. Maybe not, maybe another time. But no debate, please, because I'm not fighting you. It's not like this Quran ayat says that the disbelievers fighting you, opposing you, and all this. We're not fighting, we're after the truth. So if you are after the truth and so that's how it is, right? After the truth. Debates don't work with the truth. Debates are who is the winner. Sometimes the other party can be right, but only one party. So who loses and who wins is more stressed on the debate, in the debates. That I cannot accept. So I'm also not fighting with you. I'm here peacefully discussion, honest, respectful, not calling names, then if I say something like, "Oh my God, you put into," that's my venting out. Yes, I'm human after all, and I see that the Prophet has how much I've been deceived by my religion and this Prophet, and it's all even the way I used to believe in or love Imam Hussein. Well, excuse me. So this, right? So the Muslims should know that I'm not fighting you. And this is, it may be challenging. Yeah, problems have come up in the Quran. But I'm not the one giving you a challenge. I had my own challenge I had to overcome here. So let's make it peaceful, right? Islam is peaceful, as you believe, and honest, not like Abraham. And you'll see even what he's made out of Abraham's religion. I don't know much about the Bible in this case, Abraham's case, but he's really made Abraham into an idol worshiper. In it's like making the house of Allah and all this. So this is the Abraham of the Quran. Then you can't avoid monuments, you can't avoid statues, which some say it's not statues, some say they have different translations where Suleiman, jinns worked for Suleiman. Now God himself, be and it is, be and it is, he created it, then he created, all these problems, he created it in 6 days or something. But he says, I say to a thing, be and it is. And yet Suleiman, the one who submitted to Allah's will, or Allah as a Muslim, needed the help of jinns to make him things. And that ayat will come later on in this, right? In this topic. So no partners with Allah and not take idols to worship, as Islam says. But that's just a deception. However, the title here is No Partners with Allah is a deception. From the Quran ayats I'm showing you. And moreover, not take idols to worship. So you'll see how the Bayt Allah, the house of Allah, becomes an idol. Of course, it's not, it's a house. Now, what, it's kind of, we're idols of what? Human beings and animals and what? And then if you say it has no power, Allah can give it power, like I showed you in Surah Baqarah. That will be coming. So let's take it step by step. First of all, I hope you understand this, who wish to separate Allah and His Messenger. What a great misunderstanding by mostly all Muslims. Then Surah Takwir also becomes clear. This is the word of Allah, this is the word of the Messenger, noble. This is the word of Allah and the word of the same, one and the same, not conveyed. It's one and the same. So we can see later on as we go that against Christians also, against Jesus Christ, the same thing. Like, how the Christians take it as okay, they take it as the Son of God, but you can't separate the Messiah from God and the Spirit of God. At least that much you can see, right, Muslims? And here you've made such a big blunder, your religious scholars, and you just take it without thinking. Now, I used to read this verse before they cut what has ordered Allah to be to be joined. So I would think, even, yeah, like loving hearts, relationships. But I couldn't give my own opinion on this. So I had to read the tafsir. I kept wondering what this meant, actually. So you see, if you take Surah 4, Ayat 150, wish to separate the disbelievers who deny Allah and His messengers, they wish to separate Allah from His messengers. And then Surah 2, Ayat 27, those who break the covenant of Allah from after its verification. If you move away from the Bayt, Prophet Muhammad, the allegiance you've given to Prophet Muhammad in Surah Fat, it is claimed, 10, Ayat 10. Don't break the covenant. This is to break it is oath. So whosoever, this is the covenant now the believers have made with Allah by paying allegiance to Muhammad. So Allah's hand is over the hand of him above their hands. So if you put your hand on Prophet Muhammad, that means Allah's hand is over your hand and Prophet Muhammad's hand. And it's also a covenant that you're making, right? So whosoever breaketh it, only to his soul's hurt. While whosoever keepeth his covenant with Allah, on him will he bestow immense reward. So you take this ayat with, oh, so you're not supposed to even break, there's no difference, right? Take this ayat with Surah 4 ayat 150. Because it doesn't say prophet or messenger. I understand this, but whoever swears allegiance unto thee, probably need to look at the previous ayat. 9 ayat, what does it say? It doesn't say prophet, does it? Praise the prophet. It says help and all this. Surah 9. Oh, sorry. Surah Fat, ayat 9. Oh, so it does mean praise the messenger morning and evening or afternoon. But your translators have mistranslated it by putting Allah in brackets or putting IE or just Allah there in the end. Surah Fat, ayat 9. So you see now, this part of the Quran is made clear, right? To you? Surah Takwir, ayats 19, 20, Surah 4, ayat 150, Surah 2, ayat 27, and Surah 13, ayat 25. But those who break the covenant of Allah after contracting it and sever that which Allah has ordered to be joined. Your hands on Prophet Muhammad, not relationships severed. Already, if your father is a disbeliever, you cannot give him affection, loving kindness. Surah Mujadala, ayat 22. So I don't think it's about, or maybe plus with relationships, but with your covenant that you've made with Prophet Muhammad. Surah Fat, ayat 10 states. And because it also shows that if this is joined, then his hand is joined with Allah. Although it says his hand, Allah's hand is above his hand. See, the hand of Allah is above their hands. So you've joined hands, or you've put hands on top of each other's. Like every one of them comes to put their hand on Prophet Muhammad. Allah's hand is above that. Okay, above it, but this seems to be there's a joining, right? So how they've your footnotes, your tafsirs, that I've surely seen the footnotes in Quran.com under these ayats, Surah 2, ayat 27, they cut what has ordered Allah, it to be joined, cut what my English is a bit different than this. And they cut what has ordered Allah it to be joined in, footnote 1 or 2 number. And in Quran.com under this ayat I've read, it's about relationships. You've singled this verse out, and you have misrepresented this verse. Even if you give me a hadith from Prophet Muhammad, find some hadiths, I would not agree to this, because now these few ayats that I'm showing you make sense now without tafsirs. One ayat explaining another ayat. And then you see for sure that Surah Takwir ayat. Then you understand, right? That it is not mighty established in the presence of the Lord of the throne. It is, he is Rasul Kareem. This is the truth, the word of an honored messenger. Sorry, excuse me. Owner of power with the owner of the throne secure. Can't make any distinction here. They're together. So Maida at 55. What else becomes clear? Oh, you will see what else, what other eyes become clear. More falling into perspective, you know. So then Surah 34 ayat 13 says they made for him what he willed of elevated chambers, statues, bowls like reservoirs, and stationary kettles. We said, work, O family of David, in gratitude, and few of my servants are grateful. Jinns made for him, not Allah, not human beings. Jinns made for him. But of course, you won't give gratitude to the jinns. Allah doesn't want you to give gratitude to the jinns. Allah wants you to give gratitude to Him, it seems. The Surah 34, ayat 12 says, and Solomon, we made the wind obedient, and all this. And there were jinns. So if you say, show me the ayah where it says jinns did this. So Surah 34, ayat 12, before Surah 34, ayat 13, which I read out before Surah 34, ayat 12. It's the jinns that worked in front of him by the leave, by the permission of his Lord. And if any of them turned aside, then Allah gives a warning to the jinns. And if any of them turn aside from our command, we made him taste of the penalty of blazing fire. Yet Allah doesn't want you to be grateful to the jinns and thus grateful to Him. Like here also to join for that gratitude that's so unfair to the jinns, and thus may be idol worshippers. And their awliyas, like in Surah Zumar ayat 3. Okay, so we come to the idols now, idol side. Then I'll go back to no partners with Allah. Surah 2, ayat 248 says, the sign of his kingdom is that there shall come to you a tabut, a wooden box, wherein is sakina, in it or around it is peace and reassurance from your Lord. So it has that peace. The tabut has it, or around it, and the remnant of that which Musa and Harun left. Musa's family and Harun's family, it says, the Quran, behind, carried by angels. And it's moreover carried by angels. Verily, and this is a sign for you if you are indeed believers. So wouldn't you even be grateful to the angels carrying the ark? But the point here is, yeah, all the points. Being grateful to the angels, being grateful for the tabut, to God, but it has peace in it, so it can have power. For example, when Abraham built this house, what did God say? Surah 2, ayat 1 to 5. And when we made, God says, when we made the house a frequented place for men and a place of peace. What? So the house is a place of peace which Abraham and Ishmael made. Now they've made a house. Make from the station of Abraham a place of prayer. From where a place of prayer? Station of Abraham. Have you even understood this? You just go for Hajj and you stand in the station of Abraham. Maybe what Ismaili Imam recently I found out. Unless you stand in the station of Abraham, you can now understand another ayat that I recently did. So here, of course, the ideal is that to purify my house. Allah now calls it my house, His house. Purify my house for those. What's the okay? The difference is that this is a house of Allah, and those are idols, gods, right? Different gods, you would say. For those who are to circumambulate and prostrate. Now, what happens is, remember I showed you this ayat, Surah 9, ayat 99, and of deserving the prayers of the Messenger. When have you become deserving of Abraham's prayer? When you stand from the state. What happens here? Make what? Make from the station of Abraham a place of prayer. Better to go to a Jamaat Khana. And recently, I'm kind of. So the Ismailis, they take their Imam from these ayats. I understand Ismailism more than I understand. From Sunni, Shia, Twelver, there are many contradictions, many contradictions. Yes, and from now you see from Ismailis also, like the ones that if you worship idols, many contradictions. But if you take that ayat, Surah Araf, ayat 33, which says, do not associate with Allah without authority. So Shia's right in that of course there's association with Allah. The Messenger of Allah, Waliyakum Surah Maida, at 55 and others, these, where he's saying don't even distinguish. Don't create a separation, don't, between Allah and the Messenger. So now is it made clear to you? What is this place? Why this importance to Abraham's station of prayer? Abraham is gone. Yet, look. So now, try to get it clearer through Surah 2, Ayat 125 and Surah 9, Ayat 999. Why this messenger? And also, you can be deserving of his prayer, his salat, his salawat, its prayers. Salat in plural form. Becomes a little more clear. Okay, what I'm saying is like with Sunni Quran interpretation and tafsirs gets even more contradictions. Yeah, but of course there is a contradiction in the Ismaili and the Quran ayats. Ismaili Quran seem, but some missing ayats are there, and so. But like this part, you can understand more with the Ismaili. And they're right. So they take this part, and it's not that they don't have contradictions. Like then you read this ayat. Right? Where is it? Surah 4, ayat 116. Truly it is only associating others with Allah in its divinity that Allah does not forgive. Allah does not forgive and forgives anything. So Allah doesn't forgive partners with Him, others with Him. Even with Him, Allah doesn't forgive partners with Him. So I don't blame you, Muslims. But in order to understand these ayats that I put forth, at least a little bit Ismailism in this is clear, right? Now you can't go blaming them. Do they call the Imam God? Although I've never heard the Imam himself saying, I'm God. He doesn't say it. And he's not God. But people are putting wrong things on him, associating him with God. Say it. Why don't you say that, Jude? Salim Lalani, sorry to put it. Am I picking on him? He's brought out that His Highness Al Khan III also has said that he's God. Where has he said God? So he's brought out these things from the Jamaat where he may have misunderstood and misinterpreted. Is there a difference here between Allah and Rasulullah Karim? Honor of power with the honor of the throne secure. So it's a really mishmash. You have to go to Surah 4, ayat 50 to understand, wish to separate Allah from His messengers. And they cut what has ordered Allah to be joined. Your hand should be on. When you're paying allegiance, Surah Fatah 10 then becomes clear. And what is, and all these ayats become clear. Surah 2 ayat 27, Surah 13 ayat 25, Surah 4 ayat 150 confirms that. So the most important part, wish to separate Allah. Allah and the messengers should not be separated. Cut what has ordered Allah to be joined. You're cutting Muslims, you're cutting the messengers. So that's why saying we believe in some but reject others. Save your lives. Oh my goodness. So from these ayahs, you would be considered Sunnis, especially Sunnis, you would be considered disbelievers. Oh, but if you're going to show me this ayah, oh, do not do so. I'll show you Surah Takwir. So these are contradictions. Surah 4 ayat that I showed you, it is an unforgivable sin to associate partners with Allah. Unless perhaps Allah has sent authority. So we go to like the Shia 12 verse have told us, Allama Tabatabai. So, where is it? Where's Surah Araf? Have I missed it? Oh. And even the Shias may have not understood it properly. Some Gnostic Shias, Irfaniyat, oh. So what is the difference? Ali ko bulaya, Allah aa gaya. Allah ko bulaya, Ali aa gaya. Irfan Haider Abadi and you know the rest. Indo-Pak, Pakistani. You remember Irfan, if you were Shia and Pakistani Shia? You remember at that time, and you know, if you were old enough to understand the majlises, Shias, Irfan Hyderabad. So, and he was very Ali, 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 Ali. So you see, Irfaniyat then comes in, then certain points like is Aleen, Aleen. Are you from among the Aleen, please? Who are the Aleen who did not bow to Adam? Irfan Hyderabad. I'm just copying his style. So you see, he understood that ayat. But oh, you Sunni, and oh, some of you Shia. But have the religious, I don't know how many religious scholars have understood this. Make no difference. The Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Can Imam Ali then be the helper of the messenger of Allah? Then what is he? And then he has the attribute given to him. You know how Ali came? What Fatima bint Asad, Imam Ali's mother, wouldn't name him or wanted to name him Asad, the lion, I think that's his title, okay? But Prophet Muhammad, I think, said, wait, or no, Allah has said his name will be Ali. Allah has given his own attribute as a name to Imam Ali. So Sunnis, you've missed this part that you can reach Irfaniyat and that part too, where Irfan Hyderabadi recently was listening to his majlis. Who are the Aleen? Who are the Aleen? Not the haughty. That's the arrogant ones are there. Or, oh, Iblis, were you the arrogant? Or were you the Aleen, the high one, exalted ones? Irfan Hyderabadi could not see where these ayats are coming from. They're coming from a place perhaps from Persian paganism or polytheist Makkans who had these awliyas they worshipped. They were grateful to the angels were, and all this, right? So their angels were demigods or gods. And this is how they paid respect to each and every one that led them to God, signs of Allah. Aren't you told to pay respect to the signs of Allah? These are ayahs of Allah. So Irfan Hyderabadi also, a Shia Gnostic Irfanian, even his name is Irfan. So Shias, we don't say Sufis. Sufis of a very high order Sunni from, they can come from the Sunni branch of this religion, school of this religion. Irfan's very high spiritual. But alas, maybe there was a, maybe, now I'm saying from my own inference from all this that I've taken, maybe there was a Ali for the polytheists, and he was the Hujjat, and maybe there was a messenger, and he was the evidence of God, of the signs of God, and you had to pay allegiance to him. So when they love him, as they say, oh, they love them, whereas the believers love Allah. Remember that ayat also. So just a little bit so on this also showing you the idol thing very briefly, right? Doesn't make sense. It could have the power, it could have peace. If it has peace, this tabut around it and inside, then why can't idols have peace around it and inside it? Or power? Surah 2, ayat 248. Surah 2, ayat 1 to 5 also, Allah has made this house His house. Where not Ibrahim, where not is your Allah. Allama Rashid Turabi saying, where are you going? You don't have to go anywhere. Whithersoever you turn is the face of Allah. Where not is your Allah. Where are you going, Ibrahim? When Ibrahim says in the Quran, it's stated, I'm going to my Allah after arguing with the idol worshippers, breaking them, and this and that. All that nonsense. Now, this Abraham becomes an idol worshipper, doesn't know indirectly. Purify now. Who has made Abraham? That ayat I haven't shown you. Abraham and Ishmael made this house. Allah calls it my house for those who are to pray, like ritually do this tawaf, and those who stay in i'tikaf, and those who bow down or prostrate themselves. Take no idols to worship. Moreover, we have monuments. And so the reason why I brought 9, Surah 9, ayat 999, is for the station of Abraham. Make from the station of Abraham. If you don't make from the station of Abraham, you're just for Hajj. Maybe the Imam, where Imam is. And once you give birth to this Imam, the true, I'm not saying Imam is just Islam and from this Prophet Muhammad, I don't know. Or the Ali he made son-in-law and his cousin. But the polytheists, the Persian pagans, idol worshippers, the polytheist pagan idol worshippers, from the station of Abraham, a place, make. So there you make it for what? Just as remembrance? But then look at this ayat, right? Surah 9, ayat 99. If you think this for Hajj only or Umrah, and you remember, make from the station of Abraham a place of prayer. Well, it kind of comes together a little bit in Surah 9, ayat 99. And among the Bedouin Arabs are those, doesn't say believers, okay? But still you would jump to the conclusion. Maybe these were Makkah ayats they took. told among the Bedouin Arabs are those who believe in Allah and the last day and regard their spending as means of drawing near to Allah. Now you see there's a contradiction. Another ayat I showed you previously, where it says Allah will not ask you for any wealth. Yet they're among the Bedouins, so I showed you the contradiction. But here it's saying as means of drawing near to Allah. Now you give Nandi, you give to that Imam. Actually, this Imam, Ismaili Imam, even may not know that he's coming to the polytheism, the true, where these ayats were coming from and were stolen. Okay, and moreover, and of the prayers of the messenger, indeed, this shall be a means of drawing near to Allah. Not your salat, but the messenger's salat, which is salawat written here in this ayat, Surah 9, ayat 99. It's very important you gain the prayers of the messenger, which will bring you near to Allah, shall be a means of drawing near to Allah. For this, so this, and then see, it just makes clear, right? This ayat. Station of Allah, a station of Abraham was made, a place of prayer. Now you are gathered around it. This beginning place of prayer was made. The station of Abraham was made a place of prayer. Like that, okay? Then what do we have? Salawat. Okay. Surah 2 at 198 says, there is no blame upon you for seeking bounty from your Lord, but when you depart from Arafat, remember Allah at Al-Mashar al-Haram. Haram? Okay, haram, haram. Okay? Now, whatever way I pronounce it, sorry if I've mispronounced it, but it doesn't make a difference. Remember Allah by the sacred monument. Why is this sacred monument? You know this Mashar al-Haram is a sacred monument. What is this? Sacred monument. Why is it important? Why is it sacred? Although the ayat may not say sacred, but it's a monument. Remember Allah by the monument. Prophet Muhammad, the Christians and Jews will say, oh my God, what has he done to our Abraham? You know, all that, and our Abrahamic religion. Even Jesus Christ changed it, tried to. You see, it all comes back to what? Moses said, Allah told Moses not to make images of me, nothing. There, Allah is bringing Son of Allah. God is bringing down the Son of Allah. You can see the image of God. If you see Jesus Christ, at least you've seen like Allah, God or something, right? The Spirit of Allah, or what? You've seen Jesus, you've seen God. Oh, I saw God. This is what the Christians say. So you see, it all comes back to polytheism. Even those poor Jewish religions, Jesus Christ came and made some of it like he's a walking, talking, he's the Son of God. He's the Messiah, he says. All this. It goes to making images of God. And he's done more harm to the Abrahamic religion. Oh, then how do the Jews explain Judaism? How do they explain Shekinah, which is a seat of mercy? He's all this, right? And don't they have angels? Something fallen here, my mic. Okay, trying to fix it. Okay. So, anyways, with that, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Remember Allah by sacred monument. So monument not take idols to worship. But why are you doing, ask yourself, are you doing enough for this monument? Why is a monument needed? Did Abraham stop here? When Satan was, his mind was, no, don't take your son to kill or what. It's that important that Abraham was being troubled by Shaitan, Satan, that this monument is so important or what? But where Abraham did that, where Shaitan did that to Abraham, you hit with pebbles. So please ask why this monument is important. Read the history behind it, but it is important. Now, also that idols? Could it be idol? Could it be an idol there? Then Surah 39:3. Since so much you have, this part you have not understood at all, Sunnis. To some extent, the 12 Shias have, but not to the fullest extent. Even the Irfans, perhaps, or they couldn't say it because they would be killed. If I tell you, if they say, oh God, if I tell you that this religion, it goes to idol worshipping when you go deep inside it, you would have killed, already you call Shias disbelievers. God knows what you would have done to the Shias. So maybe they don't say it and they hide it. Not to save their lives, just to praise God and live the life that God wants them to live in their religion peacefully. So what a injustice. Then you see, once you understand these ayahs properly, then what an injustice. And Surah 39, ayah 3, unquestionably for Allah is the pure religion. Come on, tell me, where is the pure religion? My house, Abraham monument, Tabut is coming with the angels carrying it with peace around. Come on. And these all the other, and you're not supposed to make a difference between the Allah and the Messenger. Surah 4, ayat, this one, right? Surah 4, ayat 150, wish to separate Allah from His messengers. Allah. What kind of an injustice for the polytheists. And you say no authority sent down, Shias, for their idols and their gods, their avatars. They carry it in their hearts. What injustice! And if Surah Fat ayat 10, if you pay allegiance on the hand of the messenger, you have paid allegiance to Allah. Surah, see the proper, I've just taken it like this, the translation, sorry about that. See the proper translation of Surah Fat ayat 10. And isn't it? So I'm not going there to check. Maybe it's, so those who swear allegiance unto Muhammad swear allegiance only unto Allah. At least this much. If you're swearing allegiance to Prophet Muhammad, who are you swearing allegiance to? Allah. The hand of Allah is above their hands. So it's equal, right? How can you then say that? So loving Allah and Muhammad, what is the difference then? And also worshipping Allah, okay, you say He's the creator. See, that's all. Shias. Prana, Supreme Creator. That also was, I showed you Jesus Christ by the permission of Allah. So even the idol awliyas they had, by the permission of Allah, they could bring someone to life. They could make like Jesus Christ did. We see in Hinduism history, there were some sages who did this, they had spiritual powers, such that they could even go into a body and make it come alive by dying in their, leaving their bodies and changing their bodies, like changing it. This has also happened in Hinduism. Or any, if God approves of your spiritual, your worship, God knows what you can do with it. But here, see, what you Sunnis have missed entirely, entirely. And what have you done? So that's why you're breaking. What you've done is you believe in some but reject others. Now, Allah here is wrong because you see, I can understand where rejecting others, not joining the messenger with Allah, because you're told not to join anyone with Allah. And this ayat is terribly put. So Shias also, Sunnis are, they're ignorant. Truly, it is only associating others with Allah. Why doesn't he put, if authority has not been sent down? If he had put this, maybe a little bit Shias and Sunnis would not have such a vast difference, conflict that goes into a great conflict that then the Sunnis call the Shias disbelievers. Such a great conflict. Deep conflict. So, of course, it's Allah's fault here for not conveying it, because in this, you see now, understanding these ayats, you can see how Shias have taken it better than the Sunnis. But you get scared by it. Sunnis get scared by this ayat, and yet you've left behind a chunk of it that I have given you here, showing it. Oh, so little bit falling into perspective towards the polytheistic religion and more towards the tilting towards the Shia Tolver and more towards the Ismaili Shia Muslims, Shia Muslims, right? But I'm not saying that they're completely right. It's actually Allah's fault. If this ayat is in the Ismaili Quran, which I'm going to check now, I forgot to check. Surah 4 ayat 116, then what another great blunder. Contradiction. Allah, it's indeed Allah does not forgive association with Him. Without authority, at least write this, right? So this ayat is in the Ismaili Quran. La Salah. Whoso ascribeth partners unto Allah hath wandered far away. Even Allah would have said, you don't ascribe on your own without my authority. That even He doesn't say. Okay, He says, whoso ascribeth partners, you'd say, well, if Allah ascribes someone with Him, no, He should have made this ayat clear. That's the whole thing is, especially this. So that you Sunnis and Shias and Quran only, all you Muslims would at least not have such a vast difference, calling the Shias disbelievers. This problem. So, yeah. I have a religious crisis, I have a spiritual crisis, I have a health crisis, I have an emotional crisis. Today I was I really wanted someone's help because I trust in His Highness Al Khan. So when my cousin was in the hospital, she had a terrible accident. Then I was looking at the picture in Al Khan Hospital, Karachi. And before the Zahra and this, calling out to Allah and her intercession. I felt like So I was in doubt. It was a severe accident, but I was being told that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Already I had the disciple of Bi Fatma Zahra, the Prophet's daughter's disciple, but I was looking at His Highness Aga Khan's picture there at the reception emergency. It'll be okay. You know, the machine, there was this machine needed, and so we had to call someone who was working there. We knew, thank God, and she said, no, no, the machine will come or something. And so my cousin is well now. She's married and all this. Okay, so it was well. I didn't. They said go home. I was extremely tired. I went home. I wasn't well. Year 2000, somewhere. So she was well. So at these times you need someone, and so I felt that His Highness Aga Khan's picture also. Bi Fatma Zahra, so her disciple. Some people don't survive. Some people survive. I don't know why this happens. But this time, all our prayers came true. Her mothers, her friends, all that. Her cousins, her aunts. Okay? But still, I felt that I can trust. Now that I'm doing Ascended Masters, calling on Saint Germain, I was like, I stopped and I said, why don't you call? But this Quran, I'm sorry, but maybe I can call His Highness Aga Khan, not believing in this. But as an ascended master, yes, like they say when those imams, they do certain things. So in any religion, if you're near this, your intention is clean and you really want to help out, then this. But one thing I don't agree to the Ismaili Imam is this: Islam is the true religion, meaning from his great 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 grandfather, Prophet Muhammad Mustafa, the son of Abdullah. That I do not agree. Okay, but I take him as a ascended master right now, alive. Even Jesus Christ is not alive. You know how many ex-Muslims have left? Have embraced, have become Christians. You do need someone like Jiddu Krishnamurti very hard when you're okay to understand the truth and all this. You can go deep inside yourself, and I think someone like Saint Germain would help you to understand, but he's not going to pick you up. Maybe you have to pick yourself up, find the protection inside of you. So Ismaili Imam, I really needed him yesterday. Also, I was quite broken. I needed someone. I was thinking who to call. I need some food. Oh, please. And I'm very scared here, since the doctor said get admitted in the hospital. Okay, I'm not supposed to go on with this because I have very little time now. So I think I'll continue later on. So it's a little bit on idols also. I hope I don't confuse you. So where were we? Remember this monument, Surah 2 at 198, and then Surah 39 ayat 3. So questionably for Allah is the pure religion. What pure? You can't separate Allah from the Messenger if you understand that ayat properly in context to the other ayats, Quran ayats. Then in some ways, like Surah Takwir, taking Surah Takwir also. So some ways, the Messenger is equal to Allah, or with Allah, as a possessor of power, with Allah as the possessor of the throne. And those who take protectors, continuing this ayat, Surah 39, ayat 3, and those who take protectors besides him. So here he puts besides him, not with him. We only worship them, and he puts worship also for them, or serve them, worship them that they may bring us nearer to Allah. They're saying nearer to Allah. They don't want worldly life. They want to come near to Allah in position. Oh God, indeed Allah will judge between them concerning that over which they differ. Indeed Allah does not guide he who is a liar and confirmed disbelief. Terribly unjust to them. And they've put beside, Allah is put besides them. I don't know what this means. And even with them, you can't take partners. So, the failure of this point. Then you see now, awliya even protect us besides them. They take and they worship. Please see, it's implied here. Surah Maida at 55, your wali, ally, not allies. It's in singular form. Waliyakum is none but Allah and His Messenger and those who believe. So what do the Shias do? Maybe Imam Ali knew that, and him, that they had stolen it from the Makkan or Persian pagans, wherever they had stolen this ayat from, and who this believer is. And he's only one. And that's what Ali explained. So through the Ali, the Shias take it, and Muhammad explained it to Ali. So they think, this is one level in wali. And this believer is not all you believers. It's only one believer, those established. If you take it from Prophet Muhammad, who's given it to Imam Ali, thereafter the Imams, it's recorded, then establish prayer and give zakah, and they bow, ruku, who gave, so the Shias read it in context. But the rest of the Sunnis, aren't you don't think you are confused. I don't know how you take this. You don't take it properly even, as it should be taken. Many ayahs you haven't taken it properly. So here also the messenger is equal to Allah in this regard. Waliyakum. Not only the believer or believers, as the Sunnis take it. Okay? Then Surah 7, Ayah 33 says, associating anything with God without His permissions. This part is important. Is a sin. No, is forbidden. It's forbidden associating, now it's put that it is forbidden to associate anything with God without His permission. So then I think the Shias read this ayat in the light of that ayat. This ayat, Surah 4 ayat 116. Although Allah has not put here, He's just put it's unforgivable sin associating partners with Allah, others with Allah, even with Allah. It's unforgivable sin, not in His divinity. This must be Maududi's translation, or someone else says. I couldn't see. So I quickly took it, and now done a lot with you over the days, months, years, 3 years, 4 years I've been here doing this. I hope, and those new, sorry if you don't get it right now, maybe you should go through my old videos. But very easy to understand now. This part here on this, making messengers equal to Allah. Oh, we finished it now. So Surah Takwir, that this is in truth the word of an honored messenger, not conveyed. So your translators will not make mistakes anymore. Because if you take Surah 4, ayat 150, Surah Fatah, ayat 10, and Surah 4 especially, so don't take some and deny other ayats, thinking it's a contradiction, it can't be true. Yes, it is a contradiction, but the Shias don't accept, and even the Sunnis don't accept it, and then they miss these ayats and the true meaning of these ayats that I've shown. Okay? So you all have missed it somewhere or the other. And the Sunnis mostly miss this, right? That is the word of the honored messenger, meaning the word of Allah, not conveyed. Don't put that word here. So Allah's word is the messenger's word. And mighty, established in the presence of the Lord, turn on, word by word. Read the Quran ayat. Owner of power. In easier, Quran.com. Go to Quran.com, translate word by word. Owner of the throne, Zi Quwwati, with the owner of the throne, Allah, secure marking. And on that to security I've done with the idols, or those who take them as associates with Allah. Going, what is it? I can't. So can't remember it properly. So I'll leave that now, and I'll leave you with this. Please see. Now you get this part where the Shias mostly take it, but not very, perhaps, the way it should be taken as idol worshippers' eyes. Right? But the Persian or Arabs at that time, Makkah, Arabs. So what has Allah ordered to be joint permissible relationships? No. Or also messengers with them. Sorry, I forgot to read this. I was trying to explain. Jinns made for him. That's for the idol thing. That part, second part, not take idols to worship. And here, this part, messengers, partners with Allah, associated with Allah. But do not separate them. Then these verses become clear. Surah 2, 27, 30, Surah 39, 25, and the rest I'll show you. Then they become clear. Surah Fatah 10, more clear than before, right? Without tafsirs. See? Okay. What an injustice, I would say, done to the idol worshippers. If they would say that, of course, by the permission of the Supreme Lord, they, like the Hindus, they have Advaita Vedanta, like that. Okay. There is the Supreme Lord. Although there is the Trinity, there is a Supreme Lord to Brahman, the Creator, or Brahma, the Supreme. And then there are some perhaps confusions that I haven't understood properly and all that. But this part, at least, all we can say that the polytheists believed in Supreme Allah, and there's a ayat there in the Quran that they believed in Allah. The Bedouins did also believe in Allah. Where's that ayat on Bedouins believing in Allah? I mean, needing the help of jinns. I haven't done, remember that devils working for him, shayateen, shaitan in plural, for Suleiman. And God is Hafiz over that. Should have been Hafiz over our shaitan, the shaitans that come here, right? So that I could not have to fight them and just be a good person and just not be a burden on society. Because if I get sick, I don't want to go to the hospital. And here, I was going to be put in the hospital. Truly, it is only associated. So you get what the end is, what honor of the power. Okay, just a proper translation of Surah Takbir ayat 20. Okay, I hope I've explained it properly, shown you. So please, Sunnis, don't do this. We believe in some but reject others, although you would not accept it. I've shown you now, made it clear. So one time I was like, why don't the Shias talk to the Sunnis? Or the Sunnis come and talk to the Shias. Don't start fighting and saying, we'll kill you, you're kafirs, we don't want to talk to you, you're satanic, intellectually, yes, that, all of you are. because you're reading satanic verses. So even the Sunnis, but peacefully have dialogues, like in where was it, in India, Peshawar Nights, if you read that book. So okay, I have to go now. Thank you so much.